Howdy, everybody. It's the Blackhawks Cowboy here. And I just wanted to go ahead and give my unfiltered, instant reactions to the Olympic rosters being released. If you don't know, this past weekend, the Olympic rosters, or I guess weekday, the Olympic rosters were released for the Milan Cortina Olympics in Italy. And for the first time in a while, there's going to be NHL players there. And so yesterday, a bunch of rosters were released. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to start with Finland, who I would say is the weakest team, right? It's more or less the usual suspects, but Finland, their team is just, they're young prospects that dominate the World Juniors. They just haven't panned out the way most people thought they would have. So starting with their forward group, so the usual suspects line one, I think, is going to be Mikko Rantanen, Rupe Hintz, and Sebastian Aho. I feel like it's a pretty good line one. And after that first line, you have some other impact players. Anton Lundell is going to be in that forward core. Mikael Granlund, Capo Caco is going to make it. Teuvo Teravainen from the Chicago Blackhawks. You can see, I guess up there. That's really exciting for me because, as we'll get to later, not a lot of Blackhawks made the Olympics this year. So looking at their defense, though, that's like a 17th place NHL team defense, in all honesty. Your first pair of Mikko Rantanen and Esa Lundell is obviously going to be insane. The chemistry they have from Dallas, it's going to be a great first pairing. After that, Olli Mata is going to be your second pairing. Henri Jokiharju is probably going to be with him. On the roster, there is a non-NHL player in the defensive core. Now, has he put in the NHL? Yes. But the fact that one of these, I guess, used to be Big Five with Russia. Russia's gone. So I guess these Big Four countries, you don't even have the talent to put out a full roster from the NHL into the Olympics. It's kind of concerning. The goaltending is going to have to save them, like they had the mission of doing that in the Four Nations. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is going to be the backup to Juuse Saros, and former Blackhawk Kevin Lankinen is going to be the third stringer. I started with them because I feel like they're just simply the weakest team. There's so many holes, there's so many gaps, the lack of depth. I mean, I love Teuvo Teravainen, Turbo, but he's got 20 points this year for Chicago. I mean, at that point, it's kind of, the fact that this is your nation's best. Up next is Sweden. Now, Sweden, they have an exciting team. This is going to be a huge sleeper team. Are they going to beat Canada and the United States? Maybe Canada. Maybe the United States. They have a lot of skill, right? These other teams were built not so much for those skilled matchups, right? It's going to be a smaller ring, very physical Olympics. We'll get to that later. But for Sweden, you have leading their roster, William Nylander, obviously, Willie Stiles, he's going to be great. Gabriel Landeskog has come back into his own after a very, very slow start to the year for Colorado. Elias Pettersson, again, last year didn't do great. He's coming back in his own this year, though. And then Philip Forsberg, the man who haunts my nightmares. Again, great player. But the guy that I want to keep an eye on, that I think could be all those guys for first-line minutes, Leo Carlsson from Anaheim. This guy has been absolutely insane this year. He's been crazy good. He's matched Bedard in terms of production. He's got a great two-way game. Very good Swedish player. And hopefully, they do better than Canada. And the Swedes are hoping that they replicate the success that their World Juniors team is currently having over in Minnesota. Speaking of Minnesota, my home country, the United States of America. And I gotta say, Bill Guerin, I'm disappointed. I'm I'm heartbroken looking at this lineup. I mean, I'm confused. I'm bamboozled. I feel betrayed. You know, I mean, we took pretty much the same roster we took into Boston and Montreal. Made no improvements on it. In fact, I think we got worse in a lot of areas. Where do we even start with this roster? I mean, the bias, the amount of issues in this roster is pretty insane. So for one, there's going to be a lot of bias from me. I think Spencer Knight should have made that team. I think Spencer Knight is one of the best 3 goaltenders that the United States is currently that's currently representing the United States in the NHL, right? I mean, he's got 2 shutouts this year. He has, I think it's 11 games with over a .920 save percentage. 11 games. I mean, the only game he has under a .700 save percentage was that really bad showing from him against Pittsburgh about 2 days ago, coming off a week and a half long break. Before that, I think he only has 4 or 5 games below an .880. Like, he's in that range of, he's elite. He's an elite goaltender. And I guess Swayman's there too, but Swayman is playing for a team that has a much more experienced, much more talented, more just experience, like a better defensive core. The Blackhawks, right? They've got 4 rookies. They've had 6 or 7 rookies play on the defensive core. And Spencer Knight has stolen games. Stolen them. And I don't get it. I also don't get why Vincent Trocheck is still representing my country at the Olympics. He's great. He was a great player. Same thing with JT Miller. They're past their prime. It's over for them. Right? It's their time to represent this country. It was a great time. But it's over. They're old. Right? Jason Robertson has nearly 50 points in 41 games played. He would have had like 7 goals in the game I went to on the 29th. And we don't bring him. We don't even put him on like the scratch. You put Vinny Trocheck on the scratch areas. And so I saw a post, I saw a tweet, right, where it was talking about how the management for the United States was talking about how Jason Robertson's a one-trick pony. Jason Robertson's one trick is that he can fill any offensive role. He can shoot the puck. He can play in front. He can get physical. And you don't take him. Why? What can Vincent Trocheck do that Jason Robertson cannot do? Jason Robertson is the highest scoring American this year. You take Matt Boldy. Matt Boldy's not multifaceted. At least not more multifaceted than the Jason Robertson. And you take him? And I know why you took him. Because he's your buddy. He's your player. You GM for the Minnesota Wild. That's why. I don't think it's racism. I don't know what that was about yesterday. That was pretty crazy. Quinn Hughes, Brock Faber. No bias, no politics, really. Brock Faber. We're taking Brock Faber after you got just destroyed at the Four Nations last year, exposed. Faber, look at me, Faber. Really, Bill. So I like the Jacob Slavin. I'm so glad we took McAvoy, even though he's had a down year. Again, Hellebuyck and Andre, I love those picks. Don't like the Swayman pick, but I can't be too upset at that compared to the other atrocities committed on this roster. Brock Nelson, don't like that over Jason Robertson. And that's the other thing. Trevor Zegras, you're telling me that we're just going to have 4 fourth-liners in terms of national competition. And these teams, these guys are great. But a couple of these guys are middle 6. They're not even the top-line guys on their team. It's unbelievable. Really, truly. You're Zegras, Caulfield, Hudson. I mean, I get Canada bring their roster to counter ours with the physicality, with the hitting. But you're telling me that 4 of the 5 highest scoring players for the United States this year don't have a spot. And the only one that made it was the guy that plays for Bill Guerin's team. Think about that. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be there, but that's the only guy who is a one-trick pony. That's what they said. They were calling these players one-trick ponies that made it. Finally, we have Canada. Canada. The fellas up north. To the north. I wish the Olympics just took the best players available. Like I get you have to make a team, but I wish we were taking players that for all the nations that deserve to be there, right? Because you want to see a best on best tournament, not an all-star game, but a best on best tournament. So that means you should take the best players. And Canada did not take the roster that will best represent them. The same way the United States did not take the. I'm not blaming Canada because the United States didn't do the same thing either. Forwards for Canada, it's all the heavy hitters. They took Celebrini. Keep that in mind. Took Bo Horvat. Took Cagle. It's a good pick. They took Anthony Cirelli. Oh, and really quick, going back to the United States. This is the reason why Thomas Harley went to Canada. Adam Fox won a Norris Trophy 2 or 3 seasons ago. Adam Fox, right, is a New York Ranger. And Mike Sullivan's the coach of the New York Rangers. And Mike Sullivan got not only Vincent Trocheck, but JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck on his team. But he couldn't advocate hard enough for Adam Fox over Seth Jones? Are you joking me? Are you kidding me? We can't take a Norris winner from 2 years ago? He hasn't fallen off. That's for damn sure. And we have no room on this team for him? Nothing? Come on, guys. Let's be better than this. Right? Anyway, he might get called up, though, because I don't know if you saw it, they took out the medical tent for Seth Jones, so this entire rant might not even be applicable in a week. But in the meantime, come on. Anthony Cirelli over Connor Bedard. And I get, again, we're making a team. But Connor Bedard is one of the top 3 players for Canada right now. He's better than, right now, he's better than Crosby. That's not a crazy thing to say. Right now, in this, I'm not saying legacy. Obviously, Crosby's going to get brought on to be the captain. He's a legacy, right? It goes McDavid, McKinnon, Bedard. And Celebrini. Or you can switch Bedard and Celebrini if you want. But people don't understand Bedard's defensive game. I'm gonna tag, or at least I'm gonna put a link. There's an account called Crash Dummy 12X. Me and him talk a lot. He's a great, super insightful guy. He's made an entire Twitter thread. It's pinned to the top of his Twitter profile of every single Bedard defensive play that deserves its own highlight. And that thread is it's over the exceeding limit at this point. But they don't see that. Right? And so, you also may be asking, but Cowboy, what about the shoulder Cowboy? To which I will say, it doesn't matter. Their own GM said that his shoulder was in no way impactful on his standing with the team. So how do you lie to a man like that? Was it because he didn't play in 2025 at the World Championships? When instead of playing, he was training to get better to make this team? The team that's actually important. Because I'll tell you what, nobody cares about the World Championships anymore. No one watched them. The best players weren't even there. They were in the playoffs, which is what good players do, which is what Connor Bedard is dragging his team into before he got injured. Dragging. I mean, you've seen the team since him. That guy had the Blackhawks on his back, going around, picking this guy up, trudging him like this. I thought the Blackhawks were going to be dead last again, and they might be because of the parity of the NHL, but I thought they were going to have like another 60-point season. I was optimistic, for like a play like the Anaheim Ducks had last year. I wasn't expecting it, though. No one was. It was McKenna or bust going into this year. And all of a sudden, we were second in the divisional standings at one point. We were in the wild card for a solid 2-3 weeks to start the year. And he gets injured, and now we're 1-6-1. I was at the 1 win, by the way. Think about that. Yeah. Anyway, back to the point. And let's say, Bedard is too small. Bedard, he can't play at this high level. Fine. What about Mark Scheifele? What more does Mark Scheifele have to do to play at this level? I mean, it's insane to watch. And you want to know something? Just like with Bill Guerin, the Blackhawks and the Jets are both Central Division rivals to Bill Armstrong's team, the St. Louis Blues. Food for thought. But anyway, that is my instant reactions, my unfiltered reactions to the rosters for Team USA and Canada and Finland and Sweden. If I had to rank the rosters, I would go Finland 4 easily, right? We already talked about it. They don't even have enough NHLers to fill out their roster. I'll go United States 3. I don't have high hopes for this team. We left a lot of value off the board, right? The Chucks aren't even healthy yet. At least Matthew isn't. He's parading the Stanley Cup, right? I don't have a lot of high hopes for the United States here. I think we're going to get whooped like we did in the World Juniors. Sweden 2. I think Sweden's going to have a sleeper good. I think they're going to get silver. Play as a unit. A great, great hockey country. For a while, Finland was the bigger brother, and now Sweden's coming back in, and they're reestablishing their dominance on the global stage. They placed third at Four Nations. I think they built on that. I think the roster that they brung, the more skilled based rather than physical based roster with that Olympic ice that's all messed up. And, Canada's going to finish first because it's Canada, right? I mean, they could bring out a B team, and they'll still probably, medal. Because it's just Canada. They have a head start. They don't have 6 sports being played like we do. But yeah, guys, I mean, it's rough. Thanks for watching the Blackhawks Cowboy. I wanted to do more over, this Christmas time. I just wasn't able to. The flu was going around Texas, so I got sick twice in the span of 1 week with 2 separate, illnesses. But in the meantime, I wish you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays. Hockey's going to start back up. We got the Olympics coming up. Be sure to follow On Tap Sports and the Four Feathers podcast. Follow them, subscribe to them, subscribe to me, of course. You can watch my interview on Václav Nesh. So let's talk about. I'm gonna make another video on prospects after the World Juniors is over. But Václav Nesh, so that's my guy. Václav Nesh Senior too. Y'all boys lighting it up over there in Minnesota. See y'all around.